And welcome back to Unmute Yourself. I'm your host, Jennifer Carter, and this podcast is about lifting the curtain on leadership, purpose, and the real stories behind women who dared to do things differently. We'll talk about how they found their path, the struggles along the way, and how they built something that truly matters. These are normal people doing extraordinary things because I want you to know you are extraordinary too. Today's guest is someone who does not tiptoe around leadership. She calls it exactly what it is. So Masi Willis is a leadership coach who works primarily with leaders in manufacturing, logistics, and distribution, industries where leadership is often direct, practical, and deeply human. She's known for asking the kinds of questions most people avoid, the ones that get straight to the truth. After leaving an accounting firm and launching her business full-time in 2023, Masi built her company the old school way, through trust, reputation, and one referral after another. Today, she works with leadership teams to build cultures that actually grow people. She describes leadership culture like a greenhouse. Leaders are the gardeners, and as a coach, she's the horticulturist, helping them understand what their people need in order to thrive. Masi, I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here, Jennifer. Thank you.
Masi, your energy, I feel like we're going to have a rip-roaring good time together today.
Yes, we are.
Yes. So let's just start at the beginning. And y'all listening, I have never heard of this happening, which I think just speaks to Masi's whole vibe. So Masi, you left a stable career and started your business with essentially one client, right?
That's correct.
And then 6 weeks later, you signed a contract bigger than your old salary.
Yes, I did. So I actually left without any clients, but my old firm I worked for were really generous and just said, hey, work out a 6-week notice and we'll pay you that time. But during that time, clean your work up here, but hustle and go find some work. And so they allowed me to pursue one client that I had worked with, and I had to close the deal. I had to work with them to determine, did they want to go from operational investment that they had been looking at and really focus more on the people investment. And yeah, 2 days from my last paycheck, I got a contract that was better than my salary, and it was jump and go.
That's amazing. What happened to you or happened for you internally that gave you the confidence to jump and make that happen?
Well, I don't know that it gave me confidence or if that's just a plagued lifestyle that I have lived. I've had the luxury of singleness my whole life, and I call it luxury because I still want to be married one day and I'm still hopeful, but there is a luxury that singleness gives you that I have more of a freedom to make risky decisions. And so I've changed. So I have a very nonlinear career, but this particular change, and I call it a jump, I did it scared. And I actually was around a community of people with the leadership coaching organization that I partner with. I'm powered by Giant Worldwide. They have a community, a true online circle community. And I had probably 10 OGs, the goats that helped start Giant back in 2014, really say to me, you can do this. Like, jump, go do it. Like, we believe in you. Just put your head down and work hard. And they kind of were the breath underneath me, or the confidence probably that I needed. And they let me borrow their credibility. So yeah, I kind of am a serial jumper, but this one I did really scared because I was going into a life of solopreneurship, and that was very different than the other changes I have made in my life.
Yeah, I really feel that because it's there's like no backup plan, right? You just
Yeah.
jump and know that you're going to figure out how to swim, so to speak.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, something that you said to me when we had our prep meeting was that
Yeah.
before you made that leap, you started putting the word abundance in front of everything in your life.
Yes.
So, what did that shift actually change in the way you were thinking and operating?
Yeah, so that's based really deeply into my faith of just my prayer life. I was thinking about, I am not going to be able to do this alone, and everything that's going to be provided to me is going to be given because this is my life story. And so I come around the first of the year almost every year, and I have like a phrase or a word that's been sitting in my heart for a while, and so I kick my year off with that word. I am not a resolution girl. I just I don't believe in them. I'm like, well,
Right.
90% of you break them, so who really cares? Set a goal or set a funnel and a focus and let it be your filter. But that was in the scary part of what I was doing in the fall of 2022. I just felt like I needed him to pour every ounce of abundance on and over me with community, with competence, with content, with opportunities and relationships and provision and purpose and just like every single thing that year and leading into it. Anytime I thought about, I want abundance in my vacations. I want abundance in my time with my family. I want
Yes.
abundance in all things so that I could sit in the fruit and go, wow, look what's been done. And it wouldn't have been because of my work or my will. It would have been out of my pure prayer life that I would watch it come to fruition. And that is exactly what happened in 2023.
It feels like your deep belief
Yeah,
of who you are, what you trust the world to bring to you, right? And so, like, you grew up in Tifton, Georgia.
it's South Georgia. I mean, not quite the big state of Texas, but
But
yes.
Georgia, I've lived in rural Georgia. I know what southern Georgia is like. So,
Yes.
how did your upbringing lead you down the path of belief and prayer life and making the jump? And there's just a certain way that you impress upon me. Like, it's just your being and who you are. And it doesn't
Mhm.
seem like you're shaken very easily.
Well, I love that that's what you see and get. Now, I have scary moments and sleepless nights, but you're right. I have fantastic parents. They're still married today. They're 85 and 86 and are on a 20-day cruise to Hawaii. They've been married. They'll be 61 years next December. So they rounded 61 years this past December. So we were rooted in a family of love. My dad was one of 10. We're all from South Georgia.
Mhm.
And the faith journey for me was a way of life. And it really wasn't, Jennifer, until in my mom didn't start working until we were older. We were in high school. So we had had the luxury of her being at home. And then she just busted out in State Farm and just blew the socks off of everybody. And, in that 80s time frame, mid 80s, and women in business and in leadership roles, she just kind of forged forward this pioneering of this really strong woman who had raised a and created a fantastic household. And I have a father that at that point in time was her greatest champion. He was never threatened by her. And they've always been submissive to one another. So when I left in my 20s and got out of college, that's when I really had to explore who I was. I realized I decorated my house like my mother decorated her house. I cooked like she cooked. I liked the colors she liked. I wanted the vacations they had. And I was like, do I really like jewel tone and Waverly fabric?
Yeah.
I
Do
mean, I
you?
don't think
No.
I do. I
No.
think I
Okay.
like Pottery Barn and everything neutral and black, which was
Go.
totally the 90s. And that's really when I started shaping myself. And then this leadership piece of it is that any organization I've ever been in, they have assessed me with some type of leadership tool. And then since I was 22 years old for 20 plus years, I mentored high school students through small groups in my churches. And so when I hit the crux of I've been a terrible employee, I've been a fantastic employee. I've
Ah,
had terrible bosses and I've had fantastic bosses. And I don't even know that I can say that maybe I had one leader that wasn't a manager. Most everybody else managed. They actually
oh.
didn't lead. They
Mhm.
didn't empower us and really give us support and challenge, kind of calibrated. And so when I started studying this content during the pandemic, yeah, that is when I went, this is what I want. They're saying every single thing that I believe in, and I don't need to write content. We already have too many books. Like everybody needs to quit writing books, but I mean, write them, whatever, but we're all thought leaders. I think it's stupid when people say, and if you're one that says this, I'm sorry, but I think it's
No.
stupid, is that there's certain thought leaders. And I'm like,
Ah,
children
like the
at
top
5,
dog.
yeah,
Yes. Yes.
I have profound 5-year-olds say things to me that I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I could learn from that." Or children's books that have transformed my leadership. So I came out pretty provocative in the idea that I wasn't gonna be the content writer. I wasn't gonna be the person that was gonna be the guru. I wanted to take great leadership concepts and say, "Stop managing people and fight for people's highest good." And if you would do that in a world where relationships are dying
Mm,
by the dozens, then when someone sees you fight and choose trust over suspicion and choose growth over retraction or go, "I'm responsible for these plants," then I felt like we could transform organizations and people. And that's my life. Really, my life purpose statement, my business statement is to change the world one person at a time. And it's just a filter. That's what
yeah,
purpose it's how I show up at the gas station. It's how I show up at a restaurant. It's
right.
change this person one person change this world this one person at a time. Like letting them encounter you and wonder, well, what in the world just happened? Isn't she a sassy South Georgia girl?
I love it so much. And I get from you that you are who you are in every situation.
Yeah, I
Well,
really am.
right, Macy, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of thought leader, there's something that you said to me that part of your job is being broccoli in the teeth of leadership.
So
What does
yeah,
that
I
mean?
so I like to say, and a lot of people in the giant community will say that we're pointing out that you've got broccoli in your teeth. Most people sit at the table and let you just talk with broccoli in your teeth. And then you get home and you look in the mirror, you get in the rearview mirror, you go to the bathroom, you're like, why have they let me have that big gunk of green stuff
Yeah.
in my teeth? You would have immediately asked for them to have told you. Well, when I turn the mirror on my clients, I'm showing them the broccoli in their teeth of leadership where they don't realize what it's like to be on the other side of them. Yeah, I have a really close friend of mine, and we used to eat at this Mexican restaurant all the time, and I picture myself in that booth every time I wanna know what it's like to be on the other side of me. I turn and I sit and go, "Okay, you're being a little needy in this text message. Okay, you just got really you assumed the worst in this email, and then you wrote defensively." And so turning the mirror to that broccoli in your teeth would be if someone did it to me like I do to
Yeah.
myself, it would be, "Hey, Macy, you can get defensive sometimes." Or, "Did you know that you name drop a lot? And I think you do that because you want credibility and you want competency and you're a connector. And so you want that. Hey, do you know that you use exaggerated words?" Those are all tendencies. They're the broccoli in my teeth. And so that's really when I'm sitting in front of someone, it's hard to look at men and it's easy sometimes to look since most of my clients are men. I still work with women too. But to look at them and say, do you know what it felt like for you to walk in and say, just get your job done? Did you realize you shut the whole room down? Or when you said, "Hey, I'm just saying this guy's gonna get really mad if you don't do this. Did you realize you're driving with fear?" That's like a leadership of fear culture. Nobody wants to work for that person. So those are the type things I do say, and they pay me to say them because it transforms them, it transforms their families, and ultimately their teams in the organization, and then they perform at a higher rate and make more money.
I feel speechless, and I'm never speechless because I have a list for you, Macy, of people that I want you to work with because you just seem to have a way of calling it like it is, but also with compassion and care.
Mhm.
So, how do you bring this truth that people need to hear? They pay you to hear it with compassion.
Yeah, so we all are made up differently, right? And one of the things that I explain to my clients and to people is we make decisions through one of two lenses. We can get to the other lens, but we're going to start with one and go to the other. So we make a decision through empathy, people, or like our core values,
Okay.
or we make a decision through logic, which is rational, impersonal, truth based. Now, I might say, my driver wrecked the truck. How much damage is done to the truck? Logical. And then
Logical.
someone who's empathetic or is people forward might go, was the driver okay? And then all of a sudden the logic person might go, oh my gosh, did he hit anybody? Is there a family involved? And the other one might say, and how much inventory did we lose? So we flip back and forth. But because I know my own makeup, right? I've referenced the analogy. I know my plant card. I know what's inside me as a plant. I know the notes of what's going to help me thrive. I am naturally going to make decisions in empathy and for people.
Mm.
So when I'm dealing with someone who I need to challenge, I have to shape my questions more as bullet points. They can't really be conversational and I can't hint. I've got to actually boldly state. Now, if I'm talking to someone who is much more empathetic or got compassion, then I have to realize, okay, enter in. Jennifer, do you know how dynamic it is to talk to you on your podcast? And let me just tell you something. You should probably blah, 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 blah.
Mhm.
And I'm so thankful that I'm on this podcast. See how I know we all
Way
know that is
different.
like the sandwich, but
Yes.
knowing the person you're showing up for is what makes the secret sauce of what we do is that's just the prescription. That's just the drug. It's then acting because you know that
I
information.
love it. Will you go deeper into your greenhouse metaphor where leaders are gardeners? Because I think it's so helpful to put it in a way that people can understand it.
Sure, I call it the greenhouse effect. And if you think about a greenhouse, I like to ask my clients, what do we use greenhouses for? I mean, the whole purpose of a greenhouse is to create the perfect culture for plants to thrive. It's to protect them from outside weather. It's to control how much moisture they get, what they don't get. It's to keep the bugs and the toxins away from the plants. And then it's for us to then grow inside the greenhouse and then transfer those plants out into harvest so that they can thrive. Your organization, your board, your executive team, your church small group, your neighborhood HOA. I'm saying that as all groups so that you can see that all has culture. And so the culture is such a buzzword today. People think it's like ping pong tables
It is
and
not. Pizza
it's
parties. Don't get me started
pizza
on pizza
parties
parties,
and
Macy.
Friday fun days. Culture is what does it feel like when you walk into that greenhouse? And so, as the gardener, the person who's leading and has built this organization or is at the top of this organization, it's full of people, and all those people are your plants. So, there's a little card in the plant. And on the front of that card, it's got a really pretty picture. It's almost like a dating profile picture. You are never going to look like that picture again, right? I mean, come on.
Filters.
Everybody is filtering. Well, so is that freaking plant card because I can't get those plants to look like that. I just don't have a green thumb. But on the front of the card, it kind of has its nickname. It's a few facts about it, right? Like plant it 6 inches apart. It needs part shade, part sun. It needs AM. But then you flip that card on the back and it tells you how to prune it. It tells you what part of the region of the United States it should grow in. It tells you exactly how much water. Well, I use tools like assessments to help get that card for your people. And so as the horticulturist, as we refer to, I kind of have
Mhm.
the knowledge of the world, the knowledge of the leadership concepts right now, the knowledge of culture. I come into this organization, say to the gardener, okay, these plants, put them on this side of your office. These plants, put them on this side of your office. Hey, you're going to need to water these more. So walk by and ask them how their weekend was, even if you don't want to. These over here, don't interrupt them and make your point very quickly, or you're going to feel like they're going to feel like you're wasting their time.
Here I am.
And then when they start having toxic culture, or once they know that information, then I give the gardener all the tools and the plants, all the team members, the tools to create that thriving culture. And those tools are more like the neurolinguistics of our brain. They're like little images. It's
Mhm.
like when someone's calling someone out, like, Jennifer, what are you thinking about? Get your head in the game. We've got to get this sales process in
I'm getting
place.
flashbacks, flashbacks.
I
Macy,
know.
flashbacks.
And that's like it's the little tool is a picture of a face in the middle, and call up is at the top right, and call out is bottom left, and call out is demeaning, diminishing, undermining. Call up is empowering, giving opportunity with help. And so the quick little words, if you were a leader and you heard me say that to Jennifer, you would say, hey, let's call them up, not out. And instantly that picture comes in and
Right.
they'll say, okay, Jennifer, hey, I know you understand this sales process, and of all people, you know this customer better than us. Let's jump in and get a little bit more collaboration because I know you've got it in you and I believe you for the greatness you can be. That ain't, come on, Jennifer, get your head in the game.
What are you
But
doing?
what are you doing? How many leaders are doing that? So many leaders.
So many.
So many.
So many. It's like, it feels like one big toxic corporate
Mm-hmm.
mess.
Mm-hmm.
And when people are coming to me, they're like, I don't know. I'm not being seen. I'm not being heard. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
being valued. I'm not being supported. But what I hear you saying is every person is treated what is best for them and how they best grow in their
Yes.
own degree of sunlight.
Yes.
And
Calibrate.
it's so good.
Calibrate to them. And on the flip side, for us to address that opposite leader, right, is the one who is highly supportive. Like so supportive that the high producing person and the person that never comes in on time makes it 4-day work weeks and says they're working from home, but they don't hit their quotas and everyone gets treated the same. That is
Ugh.
also a toxic culture. It
Mhm.
is defeating because you're like, oh, it is so overly supportive. And that is today's culture. Like every child gets a trophy, whether they win or they lose. I'm like, no, let children lose so that they know what it feels like
Right.
to come out of the moment and have to shift what they're doing to rise to a greater level. We have created such a high protection, supportive culture. Organization and leaders can do that too. I tend to lean that way when I lead others. I used to do major events, large events, and
I can see that. Doesn't
my team,
surprise me. Keep going. Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was, they were fun. They were huge events, but my whole team, I would tend towards like, you got this, you got
Right.
this. And
Right.
then right at the end, I would be like, hey, where's the budget? Why is it not on time? And I had created this entitlement, this like high support with rarely any challenge. And I had to learn to calibrate myself back in that environment and make sure I said to people, hey, it'd be great if I had the budget by Friday morning, knowing that they knew I was going to have to present that to
Right.
the leaders. So surely they think that I'd want it on Thursday by noon. And then all of a sudden Thursday at noon, I'm passive aggressive because I'm like, where's the budget? And they're like, well, wait, time out. You told me on Monday you needed it Friday morning and it's not Friday yet. Wasn't it? That was broccoli in my teeth. Right. I needed to be much more of a specific deliverer of information to the point, challenging and calibrate it with support. But I led people towards support. Now, self lead,
Yeah.
way challenging. I would I'd manipulate in my words inside my head, like, you're not going to get this done and how you're not as great as everybody else. That's
Mhm.
that such self doubt talk. So we all lead ourselves first. Anyone who says, I don't have anybody that works with me, so I'm not really a leader. No, you lead yourself first. Then your next sphere of influence is your family and friends. Then your third sphere of influence is your team, your vendors, your customers, your partners. Then it's the organization, and then it's your community. So we start in that bullseye with self, and that's where most people don't start. They start on team and try to work their way back, and they disrupt family and never get to themselves.
Okay, ready for this question, my
Ask
friend?
me.
I need a drink first. Okay. What is a question every leader should be brave enough to ask themselves, but almost never does?
I mean, I'm going to say, what is it like to be on the other side of me? And what if everyone would tell me one truth I don't know? What would it be?
And then sit there and listen to it
Uh-huh.
without getting defensive.
And if people defend, and hey, I defend. So this is a
Same.
tendency
I
of
think we
my own.
all do, right?
Most often when we're defending, there is something wrong. We actually have done something wrong. If I just had someone send me an email and it was questioning AI notes and privacy and, when we're in workshops and all these things. And I found myself going, well, how dare you? You know, we shouldn't. And of course we don't do that. And why? And I'm like, no, he has a right to express his
Right.
concern. Give him truth, not defense. And so I was able to get more bullet pointed and go, I use it so I can be present. I only use it to help me look at the notes I don't want to be taking while I'm talking to you.
Right.
So I was tending to want to go defensive. And the reason I wanted to go defensive was because I thought he was questioning how well I was doing my job or how
So
well I
you
might
made it mean something that it didn't mean.
personal. I took it
Personal.
personal. Yeah, and it wasn't personal. It's that question of what is it like to be on the other side of me? Truly,
Right.
do you actually reflect on yourself and go, I'm just bite my wife's head off. But I mean, she deserves it because she hadn't done this, this, and this. I'm like, no, no, no. Do you know what biting your wife's off is like on the other side? Do you have any idea what that sounds like? Do you know how harsh that sounds? Do you know how condescending that statement just sounded to that person? Or when someone walks in your office and they're in a hurry in the morning and you're like, Macy, I need to get Jennifer's, information. Can you give it to me? Well, good morning to you too, Charles. It sure is good to see you. Why don't we just start with good morning? And I'm like, oh my gosh, do not be patronizing and don't be a wimp. Like, this person's in a hurry. Like, use common sense.
It's so
It's
good.
both ways.
It's so
It's really
good.
both.
Well, we could keep on talking and talking and talking, but let's do just a quick lightning round.
Okay.
So the first answer that comes to your mind.
Okay.
I'm so excited for this. You
Uh,
don't even know. Okay. What part of yourself are you finally letting the world see?
that I can own myself, that I can own my name. I'm proud of me. And I've hidden behind big name companies and I've hidden behind leaders and my own old company name of the Mason Effect. And I'm for the first time owning the secret sauce of Masi Willis.
What story or belief about yourself did you have to unlearn to step fully into who you are?
Well, I don't know that I've unlearned it, but I am making a big old dig, a grave, deep attempt is that I'm enough. I've had to really work on believing that I'm enough and not that, and that people could see that in me. So I'm
Mm.
still working on it, but I'm getting there.
What does it cost you to be authentic and why is it worth it?
Gosh, I don't even know that it cost me anything. I mean, it's so this is an interesting story. I lied most of my life growing
Mhm.
up. I told lots of stories in high school. I was living up to this persona of the Southern Baptist Christian family,
Pressure.
but I had all these things I wanted to explore and do and say, and I wanted everyone to like me, ultimate people pleaser. So I was more of a chameleon. And I don't even think my friends from high school truly know me because they only knew the me then. And then in my teens, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm a liar." Like, I just tell people what they wanna hear. I just white lie myself through
Mhm.
everything. And I wasn't a liar, like, stealing money liar. It was just more like I was okay to not tell the truth. So I
Right.
became this blunt truth teller. And I actually had a leader say to me, and she's a great friend too, she's like, "Hey, I love your truth telling, but I need you to make it conscious. You need to be a conscious truth teller." And so I kind of claimed that conscious truth telling because my truth telling got so blunt, it was almost mean. Like, do you like
Right.
this shirt I have on? No, I actually don't. I think you look fat in it. I
But
mean,
you were telling the truth. And so it's figuring out what to say
yeah.
when while still being true to yourself and speaking your truth.
Yes. So that's the authenticity of it, right? It's
Mhm.
truth and false, but then there is the combination of what is conscious truth telling that remains authentic and remembering there's someone on the other side of you. And so when I say it how I authentically know to say it and the way that it needs to be said until I realize my authenticity is not being heard, and then it might get a little blunt.
Right. You do what you gotta do.
Yeah. I do like that shirt. I don't think it's the best on you because it doesn't necessarily give you the best look, but I love
Mhm.
how you can just own it and wear it.
Same thing,
Same
different
thing. I
message.
don't like your shirt. I
But
don't
it's
think it
you
looks
and you chose it.
right,
So do it.
right,
Do you, boo. Got it.
right. Yeah.
Okay. What boundary have you set that protects your sense of self?
Physical boundaries. I have crazy work boundaries as a
Well, let me hear it because I
solopreneur.
need some of those.
So I try my hardest to not do client work the first week of every month. So the first week of every month, I go to my local chamber meetings, I go to our breakfast. That's my business development. That's my what I call guardian work, doing my tax reports. I'm working, building my social media stuff, but that keeps me from traveling that month. Now, if I have a pop up one off that's going to be worth the money, I might do it. I did that for a couple of reasons. Number one, that I could get focused on how to run my business and not just let my business run me. But also, if I take vacation, it's the first week of every month. So I never impact my client experience.
Smart.
Yeah.
I'm stealing that.
The second thing that I do is every Friday from 1 to 5 o'clock on my calendar, I mark it Guardian. And so I file my mileage reports. I do all my expense reports. I make sure all my clients have gotten their emails out. So all of the tedious, timely work I do on a Friday so that I exit the week and go into the weekend with a clear mind. I don't work on weekends.
Good for you.
I might answer now, if a client calls me on a Saturday and they are not people who normally call me and I'm available to answer the call,
Right.
I will. But if
Because
I'm
you're like,
sitting at the
what is
dinner
happening?
table or I've had a glass of wine,
Right.
I'm not going to necessarily answer the call. But I try not, unless it's like a rainy weekend, I'm like, let me catch up on social, like my post, or let me get ahead of cleaning out my Google Drive. I try my hardest. I
Good for
keep my
you.
Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay, one more fast question for you.
Okay.
Okay. What keeps you grounded when you feel pressure to perform or fit in?
Gosh, what keeps me grounded when I feel like I need to fit in or perform? I mean, most often it is just my own call up sessions that I have in the morning in the shower. It's who I am. I'm beloved. I'm powerful. I'm courageous. I just do that head talk. The performance is probably the thing for me. And I have to just constantly remind myself, you are walking in, changing one person's life every single day, and you continue to do it. So no matter how you do it, just do it one person at a time.
Beautiful. Macy, thank you so much for your time.
You're so welcome. It was so fun.
So fun. And how can listeners connect with you?
Yeah. I'm on LinkedIn as Masi Willis, and it's spelled Masi. It's a little weird because my real name is Mason. And so my mom and dad nicknamed me. My first name's Carolyn, so it's nothing like my
Oh,
name. But MasiWillis.com is my website. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm not as great at posting on Instagram consistently, but I am there. I have a podcast, not anywhere near as yours, but they can go and listen there. It's me and one of my best friends. We just talk back and forth about a lot
oh,
of the tools that I use.
I would listen to that. Is that on YouTube?
I don't think it is on YouTube. I think
Spotify?
it's on Spotify. It's on like Apple Podcasts. Also, if you
Okay.
go to MacyWillis.com, I have a podcast tab and it actually sits there. But those are fun. And I actually have a newsletter and I send an email every Monday morning. It is in your inbox before you make it to work or get up. And it is a quick nugget of a leadership tool, an image, and I give you a concept and teach you how to use it that week. And I've had a lot of leaders say that's how they start off their week. So I just want people to be equipped. The world, I have a real generous mentality. There's no scarcity to me because the
Yeah.
world is just in such bad shape. It would take 10,000 of us and more to really impact change. And so I just want to keep doing that. So yeah, you can reach me at those
Beautiful.
places.
Well, thank you so much. And for everyone listening, if this episode resonated, share it, subscribe, and stay with us this season as we explore what it really means to live and lead without muting who we are. So until next time, unmute yourself and be who you already are.